In a time where society is suffering from what many call the effects of a fatherless generation, we need a place where men can receive godly wisdom and guidance so they can take their rightful place as the leaders of their community. A place where men freely discuss men's issues from a biblical perspective. Because the world won't get better until we do.
As men, we don't commit for a few reasons. One, because we don't want to. Number two, because we don't have to. Or three, because we're afraid to.
Okay. We don't want to, we don't have to, and we're afraid to.
Join Pastor Tuck and Brother Corey in the Man Cave. And be challenged to be a better husband, father, or simply the man that God called you to be. Get ready for the Man Cave on the all-new My Church channel.
Good evening, and welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Pastor Tuck, and if this is your first time joining us, you're exactly where God wants you to be. Because in the Man Cave, we help men get better, become better husbands, better fathers, better sons, better brothers, or just the men that God called them to be, by simply teaching them how to apply the Word of God to their lives and providing a genuine environment of transparency and support where they can learn and grow. So I want to encourage you to share this broadcast with every brother you know, because we're here every second Thursday at 7:30 p.m. right here on the My Church channel. And joining me for tonight's discussion is a special guest, a brother that I have known for over 30 years. He's an actor, an author, and a teacher. I'm telling you, this brother is phenomenal. You've probably seen him on the big screen with Bruce Willis or Billy Zane. You've probably seen him on the small screen with Kia Cedric. I mean, you've probably seen him on all kinds of things. I mean, commercials. You've probably seen him on The Closer, Major Crimes. I'm telling you, this guy is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal actor, but better than yet, he's one of my brothers. I'm telling you, this guy is just a dynamic actor, teacher, and he's just a good friend of mine. But tonight, I've got a special guest, and I want to welcome him to the Man Cave. My brother, my friend, actor Ransford Doherty.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Pastor Tuck. Man, thank you so much.
Man?
I appreciate it.
Man,
I'm chilling,
so
man.
excited, man, to have you on tonight. Man, I remember when you left my wedding in 1997. And when you dapped me up at the wedding, you was like, man, I'm going to Hollywood to be an actor. And I was like, man, my boy Ransford said he's going to do it. And I remember one day sitting at the house watching TV, and I was like, yo, that's Ransford. And I was like, I think it was a Sears commercial. And I was like, when man came downstairs on the Sears commercial, I was like, yo, it was a Christmas Sears commercial. That was like the first joint. I was like, yo, my man did it. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. And I've been seeing it pop up on TV ever since. I was like, yo, my man is doing his thing. Man, so proud of you, man. So proud of you.
Well, brother, I appreciate the support, but what I love too is you got to see also behind the scenes of my journey. Let's keep it real.
Oh yeah.
So it's like when I say I'm going to do something, the problem is when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And when you and Pastor Stephanie came out to visit me in Hollywood, that's another thing that I'm blessed that y'all got to see, where it's like, all right, come check out. This is it. You know, even though the acting career was going well, there's another side, the behind the scenes, not so glamorous side. I wasn't living in the 5-bedroom mansion like Entourage or
Exactly.
you know, y'all was in this studio apartment like, oh, but I love how y'all. What I love is John embraced me. Y'all was still, it's Ransford. We talking. I was like, okay, this is what it's all about.
Yeah,
this is the
that's my man.
challenges of
You my man.
trying to make a living doing this. So I appreciate the support and y'all coming through. But it was a beautiful journey. I'm still on the journey, just at a different track of it.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing, man. You always been the same cat, man. I remember when you all were shooting the movie, The Hidden Potential, in Lynchburg, man, and you came and shot the movie, man, and I was able to bring the girls out to the set, and that blessed them for real, man.
See, look at that.
They were on the movie set, man. And I got to have my cameo, my Hollywood moment, man. Y'all can go watch the movie and see if you can find Pastor Tuck up in there. But I had my cameo moment in the movie. And man, that was amazing, man, to be able to do that and hang out on the set, man, and with Brother Scotty, man, and actually be there and see that whole movie go together and be a part of that process. That was amazing. And then even, man, when we were doing COVID, man, and Courtney graduated, man, and man, you actually did her commencement, man, for her, man, and with her commencement speaker, man, that was big, man, for her at the Kingdom Academy, man. So that was that was big. But like I said, man, we thick, man. We been in this thing for a while, so
yes,
it's dope, man. Like I said, but you always been real with it, and so that's the great thing, man. That you always been a man of your word, and so it actually speaks to what we're gonna talk about tonight, man, because as I was praying about what I wanted to talk about tonight, I was like, man, nobody fits this better. This really fits who you are, man. And I was praying about this, and I came, God showed me something, and I was like, man, this Ransford will be perfect for this particular subject, because tonight we're talking about something most men don't want to admit, and that's compromise. Not the big obvious faults, but the small decisions, those quiet agreements, that slow drift, because every man is tested, but not every man passes, and dealing in Hollywood, I know that's something you had to deal with and saw quite a bit of, and what happens when success is on the table, opportunity is knocking, but it comes with the cost of your convictions.
Yes.
And so I know this is something that you faced, and the exact moment that you chose character over compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's really what I want to get in, because, before we get, deep into this Hollywood thing, I want you to talk to us about who you are as a man of God, a husband, a stepfather, Tell us just a little bit about where you are in your life right now, man. And, just before we go too deep into the Hollywood thing, okay. I just want to talk a little bit about you, man. Just let everybody know where you at in your life right now.
All right. 3 days before my wedding, to my beautiful wife, Jessica Doherty, we had a talk about me,
how does that feel, just saying Jessica Doherty?
Brother, you don't understand that right there. And if we want to go the West African way, Jessica Doherty, okay? If we want
get to one more time.
Jessica Doherty, yes, man. When you trust God, it is no joke, because this journey, getting saved again in your late 40s, getting baptized, going through all that, like. Brother, I had a talk with Jessica, and I realized certain things that happened in my life. I'm like, I did it on someone else's terms. Now I want to do this. This is between me and God, and we did this thing called Rooted. And that's nothing. How I thought I'm good. Me and my relationship, we good. Me and God, we good. I mean, things been going right in my life. But we did this thing called Rooted as a couple, and meeting all these other great Christians in Texas. And it's like, wow. And developed a friendship, a family, a brotherhood there, a sisterhood there. For me, for my wife found her sisters. I got my brothers. And then again, I didn't think I'm good. Still got a good relationship with God, But something hit me for literally 3 days, because she was like, "Do you want, get saved? You want, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I've been baptized. I'm good. She's like, okay. And I literally was looking at her like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm good. Yeah, we good. But something hit me where I started to, I don't know. I'm these thoughts started going through my head of like, hold on. If you good, like all the things you went through before you came out to Texas, just recently, if you could, some of the things didn't turn out in a way that I was like, okay, wow, I saw some things that I'm like, I wasn't digging. So I said, okay, how about this, God? I want this between, again, like I said, between me and you. And I remember I was like, Jessica, I want to get baptized. I want to do this. She's like, wait, what? I was like, yeah. And she had this smile on her face. And I was like, yeah, this is serious. It just felt right. Like, I want to do this. And then as soon as I told the family in the Rooted group, they was like, I mean, I tell people I'm on a TV show, I get some cheers like, yo, congratulations. But when I said I want to give my life over to Christ, they was like, what? My sister-in-law was like, oh my, family, my mother-in-law, like everybody. Just that the joy that they had, I'm like, yeah, and it felt so right. It was no peer pressure. It just something said, I want to do this. And as soon as I did it, the things that started to open up for me. But I wasn't doing it to have things open up for me. I just want a new relationship where my terms, God, our terms, God, like let's do this. I know the people who said they did it for me, cool. But now it's like I'm aware, I'm conscious. I want to do this now. And when I say conscious, when I was a little baby,
Yeah.
it was, getting baptized, I was a little baby. So that's why I said I didn't know. So now that I'm an adult and in my late 40s, it was just like, and then again, what was so beautiful about it, and shocking too, I was adamant when my wife was like, me getting baptized. I'm looking at her like, no, we good. Like, I'm good. Like, don't you see? And then it wasn't like no guilt, no, just a question hit me like, what if? Just to make sure this time, like, yo, you do it now. No one's forcing you. What do you think about it? I'm like, yeah, let's try it. Let's do it. And now I'm telling you, it's been a blessing. So that's been my journey. But I've always had a relationship with God because how He saved me through so many trials and tribulations. Also, some trials and tribulations I had to go through so I could learn about the folks around me, who really had my back, who didn't have my back, and then realizing I'm still okay, So that has been my journey.
Wow, man, that's good, man. That's good. Well, man, let's go straight there. Let's go straight there, man.
Okay.
Let's get to this Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
Hollywood is known for pressure. Pressure to fit in. Pressure to conform. Pressure to compromise.
Yes.
Yes. And the Bible says, Paul tells us, he says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But the Hollywood system rewards conformity, but the kingdom requires transformation.
Yeah.
So what kind of pressures did you personally face in the industry? Were there moments where you felt like, if I don't bend, I might break?
Yes. And see, here's the challenge. It's funny. I had, shout out to Sam Scalamoni, who, when he came to Longwood College, told us to write our dreams down. And in my goal list, I did make sure I keep God in my life and I live my life through Him. And then even I wrote it again and make sure I still have God in my life, even after I achieve these dreams. Having that right there is like, okay, I got a solid foundation, but then also my relationship with God is being tested. So this is what we talk about, the compromise, where you sit there and say, I got a relationship with Jesus, we good. But then you forget now, suddenly you got but fame. Oh, what I would like to be successful, and you're looking sometimes to fill this, maybe it was a void in my life, but I think I was also at this place of, yo, I think I could do this. So it wasn't almost like a look at me, look at me. It was like, I would look at, I think as a kid, I remember in kindergarten watching some kid do some performance in front of the teacher, and I'm like, you ain't even entertaining. You're not even fun. You gotta make it entertaining. So I think I did something, and she started laughing. I'm like, see, that's how you do it. Not look at me. It was just like, you gotta take care of the audience. So me coming in, even becoming a theater major, that's another thing. So when you decide to even become an actor, this is not something to take lightly. Like, I'm walking into a profession where only 2% are succeeding, okay, in the business. Like, I'm talking about doing really well, like making a living off of acting. 10 to 15% are doing well with acting, getting some income coming, but they still need their 9-to-5 job. That leaves 85 to 90%. You not getting no money. You're not getting no income. So you have, I'm not walking in with good numbers. And that was in 1998 when I was going into the business. Yeah. 2026, the game hasn't changed. Okay. So you have to go in there with this, I had a love for, like, I really want to learn this craft. So I wasn't focused on being a star. So going in with that mindset, that was helpful for me, because I knew it wasn't going to be pretty. So even to say, I'm going to do this, I had to take it seriously. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't about the fame. I really wanted to be good at this. Then I get my degree. And, at the time, you need that, I felt I needed a college degree to get out there just in case, I'm dealing with a lot of rejection at first. So going out there, and in the 90s, just coming out here, I just want to work. I want to see if I can do this. I wrote this down. It was a dream. Let's see if I can make this come to fruition. And so coming out here, this is the part where you're now in Hollywood. Now you let go of family. You made all these sacrifices. Now you're like, I'm at the bottom. So what do I have to compromise? What am I willing to compromise to make it to the top? And that's where you go, okay, wait a minute. Nah, I don't want to do it that way. I had this thing also where the job that they said to get was be a waiter. Even when I tried that job, God was like, no. The best restaurants in Beverly Hills was like, no. So even when I tried that route, that wasn't working. But then God was like, okay, how about some, first it was Enterprise Rent-A-Car, where I felt God helped me with that to see Hollywood, because you picking up all these stars. And that's nothing, educate myself. I'm picking up these, customers, but there are people in the industry teaching you, giving you advice about the game. Because I would ask, so how'd you make it? How'd you make it? And then the phrase that everybody kept saying was, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't take no for an answer. I'm like, that's the answer. Okay. But then God was like, okay, but this, I know, don't get comfortable. Don't compromise what your dream is too. Because my dream is to be an actor. But then there was that safety net of, but I got a 9-to-5 job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Come on, this is safety. But if I wanted to do this, don't compromise that dream of yours either. You said you want to be an actor, do it. So I had to let go of that safety net, and really do it. Became a substitute teacher. So it was like, all right, you're teaching now. You're giving back to kids now. So it's like these things that I held on to my dream, but I didn't compromise, my purpose of being an actor. But I also didn't compromise myself in a way where I felt like the thing with, you're going to get this carrot being dangled of, I'm glad I had a team of representation, my agent, my managers, who, first of all, we have to look at when we talk about Hollywood. The analogy I was thinking about is, think about the NFL. NFL, you got you got to wear helmets, you got to wear, pads, got to wear the cleats, you got to make sure you take care of yourself. That's the Hollywood, and you get tackled. It's a contact sport, a collision sport, one can say. Now, if I walk into the NFL like, I want to be an NFL player, but I'm, instead of, there's also flag football, there's two-hand touch. If I go in there with no pads, no helmet, and I'm like, oh, we playing flag football, I'm going to get crushed. And then even if I wear pads and helmets, I'm going like, let me do two-hand touch. That's not going to work in the professional football. Same thing with Hollywood. Hollywood is what it is. And we have to realize you are making a choice. Hollywood didn't pick you. You picked this business. You picked it. So I had to have this mindset of like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, what are some things I'm not willing to do? And you also have to be patient, and you will get tested. So I'm grateful that I had representation who is getting, there's projects being written by all these writers out there. Writers, there's all these people who want to direct films, but there's certain projects you like, yo, you writing that? Yes, that person wrote that, and then they're saying, hey, we just got this in. They're looking for this role. You willing to do this part? Now, what we don't seem to understand is there's parts students, and it's funny I say students because I feel like it's a classroom. That's what I'm used to being a teacher. You have to live with this. We're living with a day and age where this is not on DVD. This is not on VHS. Like, we got the internet now. These things follow you for the rest of your life. You got students who can find certain things, and that's what I had to be aware of the choices that I consciously aware of what I was doing. And some folks want the fame so much that you don't control how long that fame is. That can be very short-lived. And then you're trying so hard for what, this fame, and they got it. Once you compromise certain things that you had these strong convictions, and you're like, no, I want to do this, I want to do that project. But if something deep down inside of you saying, don't do it, that's where, and you still do it, whew. And I feel blessed that I didn't fall for the bait that's going to be given. And it's going, you're going to, there's some projects out there where some folks were like, yeah, and you want that role. You want to show everybody, yo, I'm doing this acting thing. I'm really doing it. And then you see some of the parts that they're auditioning, looking for actors for, and you're going, yeah, let me submit my headshot for this project. And then you get that, yeah, and then you look, you're like, oh. And then the back of your brain is something in your head is going, you want to do it? You could do this. But you're looking at it going like, no, I'm not. But I want to be a star. And that's where you're always going to be tested, you know? So that's going to be the challenge where I say, I want everybody to, I also felt when I was doing this business, I didn't want to walk away going, man, Hollywood, you owe me. Now, Hollywood don't owe you anything. So I had this mindset of, if I'm going to do it, I want to be able to live with myself. I want to have that honest relationship with myself where it's like, you know, this ain't about being nice. It's about being honest. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And if you trust God, trust like the right project is going to come along. What's meant for you is meant for you. Like, I mean, I was 604 auditions. I was told no 554 times. So like I tell my students, I got a PhD in rejection. So you can't like, and it was the no's that led to the best yeses of my life. But I'm grateful that I didn't compromise myself just for the part, because you're enough. You're enough. And I'm just grateful for the things that are just happening right now in my life. But it's tempting. See, folks understand, it is so tempting to want to compromise. I'm telling you, it is tempting. It's going, and guess what? Right when you pass one, there's going to be another. Wow. There's going to be another. And then if you're patient enough to go like, I said no, God's like, good. Because guess what? I got this for you right here. You like, what? You like, told you? Yeah. Yeah. You know, and that's just when you get the part. That's when you get the part. You know, there's some things where, okay, just because you got the part, there's some other things where the up and down, where again, we don't put this thing on a pedestal. And some of us do. We compromise going like, man, this is it. I made it. Like, no. And then we forget. Oh, that's nothing. You forget the friends who were there, who had your back when you didn't have nothing. Oh, now I'm on a show, man. I'm the bomb. Now I got this film. life can be like, well, that film it might come up against another film that you're like, yo, I did this great film, and then you up against what, Avatar 12, X-Men 42, all right, Star Wars 12 or 55, and you're like, nobody saw my, yeah, that happened. Yeah, humbled yourself real quick. For what? This, and that's the thing, this stardom. Like, I want folks to still have a good relationship with God, with themselves, because at the end of the day, you gotta live with you.
Wow.
And
It's
I feel
funny you said
blessed.
that.
You know,
I
some of the
got
choices I made, a majority of choices I made.
one of the notes I said, every opportunity is not God ordained. Some are a test. And so that's exactly what you just said, right when you thought it was an opportunity, it was actually just a test.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then now I feel like also passing those tests, and I'm at a place now where I'm giving back to the actor after doing it for 25 years. Okay. So now those tests, when I'm dealing with young actors who are like, yo, I can now go and navigate, because I didn't have anybody who can say, hey, okay, when year one as an actor, this is what you're gonna go through. Okay, you're gonna go for these auditions, and then you have to go through this and that. I can now, when that actor's going through that struggle, I can go, hey, okay, all right, this was gonna happen, and this is what you're gonna do. Okay. Oh, and when you do a big movie, all right, you better save your money, because I know, and I've always heard the phrase "save your money," but I didn't understand that concept of. But you want to say, this is how the game works. And if you don't save your money, this may pop off, and how long it takes to get another project. And then what category I was in. Everybody's like, there's background, there's co-star, there's guest star, there's the series regular. Well, when you're doing, let's say you're like, man, I'm tired of doing background. I finally got my chance to be a co-star actor. I get to say one or two lines. You're like, yes. Sometimes people are stuck in that category of just all you get to do is say one or two lines, one or two lines, one or two lines, one or two lines. But guess what? Those co-star parts, there's a lot of them. A lot of them. So your friend be like, I saw you got to say one line. I saw you on this show. Man, you can work a lot. But then I got to the guest star level where it's like, all right, you get a little bit more media scenes. But guess what? Guess what? The money, the time, how many times you do it, you got some less roles, I should say. So, but a lot more people competing for the junks. People competing for co-stars. But you can keep on going with some co-stars. But when you get to that guest star, man, them auditions is no joke. You're looking at folks like, oh, you going for that, bro? You doing that one too? Oh, dang. And when you get that part, you're like, yeah, but you don't know when the next one coming. Okay? And then when you get series regular. So that's why I'm saying, when you get one of those parts, you're thinking, I made it. Like, relax. How you managing your money? And do you have, like I was what you call the 10 to 15%. I was booking work, but I couldn't quit my day job. But I love the day job as a substitute teacher, then becoming a full-time teacher. Man, that's another blessing, because I got to teach kids. I got to give back. I got to give back to my community. And them kids are teaching me, and then I live like showing them like, hey, don't compromise. I'm trying to teach them as kids, hey, you're going to be adults one day. Hey, you don't want to go down that path to compromise yourself, but you could be on this path. So, that character. You got hold on to that.
That's actually where I was going. You've had roles on major platforms. You've been in rooms most people are praying to get into, but you made a decision to step away. The Bible says, for what shall it profit a man that he should gain the whole world and lose his own soul? That's the question a lot of men avoid. What is success going to cost you? Walk us through the moment you realized that the cost was too high. Was it gradual, or was there a defining line you refused to cross?
COVID. Okay. When COVID happened, that opened my eyes to, I didn't know how God was looking out for me. When COVID happened, I saw something that happened with Hollywood, which, as you can see, a lot of things have been changing with Hollywood. The studios, the work, you know. You gotta remember when I started in the when I was like I came in, I started late '90s, '98, 2000 when I first got on TV, got my SAG card. So shout out, for SAG, Screen Actors Guild, and it was just SAG. It wasn't part of actor, but you gotta remember back in that day, you as an actor, you had Blockbuster Video. What was the other one? Circuit City. You got DVD sales. You got everything was set up in a way where you got these. Once it out on a movie, great. But guess what? Once they put it on DVD, that's another way you got paid. Once it went on, VHS, that's another way you got paid. Once it got on TV, that's another way you got paid. There were so many different ways to distribute your to promote you. So, but they had to pay you. Okay, that's how the game was, and you could make a middle class living as an actor. Now, this streaming there's no DVD, there's no VHS, so this idea of making a living at this business is definitely changed. So I had to. The walk away was like, okay, Ransford, it's like been staring at the screen for a minute, and my walk away was like, okay, I got to step back and take a look at where I'm at in life and some changes that need to be made. Because my experience, my journey, man, it was a beautiful journey. I love my reputation, my manager, my agents who had my back, the friends that I made, even the way the business has changed. It wasn't like what it is now. It's changed. And it's okay to walk away, to go, all right, and being honest with yourself and going, all right, it's time for me to step back and try, and I got to go a different direction. So even leaving LA and being out in Texas, there were some things with family that made me say, all right, I want to step away and let me try something different. Because I'm not going to lie, but that 25 years, I got it out my system, but also, and I still got a love for the craft itself, but also the business has changed, and I realize it's okay. It's time to walk away. And I'm so grateful for where I'm at now. I love Texas. And here's what's funny. Taylor Sheridan, now it's funny. I'm out in Texas. Now, Texas, you see, LA was the place to be in the 90s, California, blah. And now you got Atlanta, New Orleans, New Mexico, Chicago. When I did Chicago Fire, Chicago not playing. We know we got New York, yeah. But all these other cities, like now, what? So now when I'm like, okay, God, hey, something telling me, I felt God was telling me, hey, it's time. And so when I left, I met my wife. Things are going well in Texas. And then all of a sudden, hey, you got Landman, you got, Yellowstone, you got Taylor Sheridan creating all these new projects. And you're like, saying, what? The Chosen. Like, Texas not playing. But it wasn't like to trust God and go, all right, I need to go. I need to let go. As soon as I let go, let God, I'm now, and God's like, I got you. You're in Texas now. But I'm loving the teaching right now. So I feel like I've stayed true to my word of God has exposed me to other things in the business without where I don't leave bitter and angry. That I'm at this place like, okay, I'm here to give, and then now, my wife and kids, I got my family, man, God is good. I'm happy, brother. And look at this. Pastor Stuck, I'm still talking to you. It's like we still family. Like you see me through the journey. I'm happy, man. I feel blessed. So I pray for anyone who's trying to do this. Like, man, don't compromise yourself. Like, if the no feels right, say no. Another one's coming. The right role is coming, and then you can look back on, Whew, it's coming. And once again, it's not about being this star, compromising you. What? You don't forget. Don't forget. And what's funny too, it's their story. I tell actors, it's not your story. They saying, here's our story. We feel you fit the story we trying to tell.
Yeah.
You wanna help tell our story? If you want to, great, do that, Jux. If something decides you like, nah, I don't want to help you tell that story, cool, next, because they gonna be who they are, just like the NFL. We tackle, we hit. If you want to come in here and you want to do flag football stuff, okay, that's not what we do here. You want to do two-hand touch, that's not what we do here. This is Hollywood, so that's why I'm like, you got to decide. You know, you got to live with yourself. All right.
Yeah. And I think that's important, for us to realize, if success requires you to lose yourself, it's a failure. And I think that's the key to recognize, in anything, is that you got to recognize that it costs too much.
Yes.
Now you play different roles across TV. Let's talk about the tension between acting and identity. The Bible says, whether therefore you eat, drink, whatsoever you do, do it as unto the glory of the Lord. How do you glorify God in an environment that doesn't honor him? Did any of the roles you ever have conflict with your values?
And see, that's the thing. There's certain stories that I was okay with telling. And okay, for example, I know everybody sees the cop drama, Major Crimes, and The Closer, and they're like, these are cop dramas. But Twice a Citizen, I believe, the organization that the creators of The Closer and Major Crimes gave to the police force. Man, I got to go to these events where I saw, we're talking about the police officers who are risking their lives, the stories we don't hear. And you got folks going like, man, thank you for telling the story that nobody hears about what we do. Because there's the sometimes the negative side of what stories that Hollywood's known for, but then there's the positive sides of Hollywood where if you do right by folks, man, listen to the stories of different police officers who save people's lives, people who are retired police officers, and then still give back to community. Like those are the stories that I felt where I was blessed to help be a part of that story, those stories to tell. So that's why I can walking away from Hollywood. I was like, I'm good. I'm grateful for the stories that I chose to tell, And then some stories is like, I'm cool. I told that story. I don't want to tell that story no more. Okay. And also being a black male, there's already stories. Like I said, it's their story. There's like, we want you to tell this story. You're like, I don't feel like doing that story. BP and there's certain stories. Even when they wanted me to tell it, I didn't even fit. That's another thing. You be you, because you trying to tell everybody else's story, man. There's certain stories that this is you. This is you. So I look back. I got to play a coroner's investigator. I don't know if folks knew my character. I was a single father. Take care of my son. My mom's was sick. That's how my character started out with Major Crimes. I'm just helping, giving back to community, helping out, trying to solve. And that's the thing. We see the storytelling, but my character was a coroner's investigator. And I remember when I went down to the LA County's morgue to talk to the LA County's investigators down there. And then you see, no, those are real stories. Those are real lives. And then you got people trying to help solve a crime because there's a family who's distraught right now because they've lost a loved one. Like, that's the part that we could sit there and pretend that's somebody's story. There are real stories out there. So those are the things that I look back where I feel grateful that I got to be a part of telling those stories.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question. I said, this is a question. I had, and I know when you played on Las Vegas, they had you play in a same-sex couple. But the one thing I liked about the way you played it, you never had any like contact. It was always, you just kind of, you played it comically, but you never had any like contact. It wasn't like any, kissing. There wasn't no hug. It wasn't anything over the top. Was that something that you had to insist in the role? Was that just you played the role the way it was written, and if it was anything beyond that, you would have declined the role?
I would have declined the role if it had gotten beyond that. But what I love is the story that it was telling. That's why I looked at the story like, hey man, this is a couple. Whether you same sex or straight, couples have arguments, they fight, and I played somebody with a hot temper. So somebody can sit there and like, I ain't like that role, but like that's your business. I'm telling this story, you know, and that's why I said I don't look back going, man. I was like, no, I read the script, I went in, I kicked butt in the audition. I'm like, this is love. This is the story that they're talking about. Where one got a little jealous temper. They jealous. They got a temper. So that's the story I play. And again, there's no, oh man, like, nope. I said, yes, I'm that. I don't feel like I compromise. And now that's another thing. Man, my relationship is with God. Man, that's my relationship. People may have a problem with my relationship with him. That's on them. I'm good with God, and I felt right with it. So I did it. And and if somebody question it, that's okay. I'm not going to compromise, what I believe in my relationship with God is, I'm good. We right. And that's why I said there's stories that I'm cool with telling. While there's some other stories I'm like, nope, I don't want to tell that story. That's not that. I don't want to. And that's another thing too. Okay, let's keep it real. I know there's ways you can tell a story where things can be implied without showing.
Exactly.
There's ways you could tell a story where it's like that. That's what I'm missing. Where it's like, man, there's the way to show love. Like you don't have to tell the whole thing. Like this, we get it. We get it. I care about what's the story we telling. If we want to focus on the intimacy part of the relationship, I'm like, man, there's more to the story. That's why I sometimes look at Hollywood going, also the folks who are putting the stuff that's out there, like, just tell a good story. Let's
And
focus
and, and
on.
you can see where, like you said, the purpose in it is not to tell a story; it's to push an agenda. And so that
Okay.
and there's a difference. There's a difference in the two.
Yes, I can honestly feel like that's why the politics of the entertainment, and again, anyone who's down with telling a good story, psh, let's go. If you want to push an agenda or some political ideologies, whatever you have, no matter what side are you on, I'm like, man, that's not the stories I want to tell. And I think, in my opinion, Hollywood is suffering. That part of the aspect is like, we just want to hear a good story. That's what everybody's hungry for. But again, why are we waiting for Hollywood to tell that story? That's where it's like, you tell the story then. Well, like, no. Hollywood is what it is. This is what it's due. This is what it does. So that's why I think also, if again, someone said we didn't have podcasters like we do now. You got YouTube channels, doing better than some of the news stations. Podcasts doing better. So that's another thing where I look at the business where I was like, okay, this is giving you an opportunity. You start telling the stories you want instead of waiting for Hollywood to tell it for you. You create the stories. I did my thing, but now it made me go, do I want to be on the side of creating? Right now, I'm in the place where I just love teaching. I love helping students, you know. But I also, and now we got to start telling stories that if you don't like what the story they're telling, tell it yourself. You get your own camera crew. You get your camera, you get your equipment, you create, and then you put your stories out there.
You know, and this is the thing. I think this is the part I think where it really gets tight for a lot of people is the actual decision to walk away. You know, where it really gets real, because most people don't walk away even when they know they should. You know, the Bible talks about choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. You know, you choose purpose over platform. You know, and I'll ask you this question because I think we've had a conversation about some of this when you were making some of your decisions. What did it cost you to walk away? You know, when you made your decisions, you know, because I remember, I think, you know, when, you know, during COVID, you know, there was sometimes there were some pressures to do some certain things, and you made decisions. I'm not going to do certain things, you know, that you it cost you some things to make decisions that you stood your principles. You know, you chose your character. You made your convictions that these are the decisions I'm going to make. And I think a lot of times that's where people make their mistakes at, is that they decide to compromise in the face of, this is what I have to do if I want to succeed. This is what I have to do if I want the bag. And this is what I have to do if I want to go down that road. And what did God show you on the other side of your obedience?
That COVID was a tough time. That definitely was a tough time. And what he showed me on the other side is that obedience is, man, I got your back.
Yeah.
I'm good. Because again, there's certain convictions that I had, and it was tough. But then you start to see. So what was it? What was it all about? What was the point of you doing this? I said I wanted to tell stories. Do you have to be in Hollywood to tell a story? No. You could do a community play, local. That's why it's just this idea of fame and this stardom. It's like, man, that's when I see that, I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to, you know, I knew what I wanted to do. And that's just been the type of person I am. I'm the type of sometimes like, nah, nope, nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't want to do that. But like, nah, because you gotta, it's that going through this journey and having to live with yourself, you know, that's the part where I want to be comfortable, where I can look back like I did right by me, and I made God proud. You know, that's again, some other people were like, man, I don't like your career. And I'm good. Me and God good. Well, you're not doing TV shows anymore. Well, we'll see what God has in store. I mean, he the one who's gonna tell me whether I get him. You not.
Exactly.
You not. You know, that's why I'm like, those are the things of you focus on, like that character, having that relationship with God. And again, people gonna be like, yeah, that's you. Okay, that's just that's me. You do you, I do me. You know, so that's why it's like doing a play, like redefining what success is, because God will let you know, like, nah, don't do that. And we all get that sign. Something inside of us is telling me something don't feel right. And I'm telling you, I think that's another thing. The majority of the time, I can't sit there and say I didn't get no warning, no heads up. God was like, all right, listen.
The red light
and
was
I'd be
flashing.
like, yeah. Yes. And I said, and that's why I said there were some lessons where the lights were flashing like, no. And I'm like, yeah, I want to try this. And God was like, okay. You like, man. So I can't sit there and say I didn't know. I saw certain things and was like, man, I shouldn't have done it. But I learned. And this one was another one. Like, hey, if something inside is like, don't do it. There were some business decisions. Something was telling me this sound not only there's either I know they say if it sounds too good to be true, but you're like, but this family, listen. That's why I'm saying there's certain things that I realize, man. You sure? All right, let me, and you look back on. But again, sometimes you do certain things and realize, okay, so what am I going? I can't sit down and beat myself up. I can't beat myself up. That's another thing where you got to be like, hey, okay, let's recalibrate. All right. So what we learned from that. Okay, so now you know. And then what's so beautiful, now that I know, when the temptations try to come back at me, I'm like, it's almost like my sensitivity of that manipulation within other folks, the evil that be now my sense. I got the spidey tingly sense like, nah, this ain't right. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. And if I see somebody try to guilt trip, like, nah, I'm good. Next, what? No, for real, I'm good. Because I see again, I came out on the other side, but you came out on the other side. So now that you've learned, we're not gonna go through it. Oh no, we good. Lesson learned. Next. And then what's funny, I tell actors, you start standing up for things. When you get the audition to play a character who has to stand up for things, you can play that character while it ain't fake because you've experienced that. You went through that. So now this is speaking from a place of like, oh no, I've been there. So I can. And it was funny when people watch that performance, they're like, oh my gosh, yo, you telling my story. Yeah, that's how yeah, I've been there. I've been there. So again, I'm grateful for the characters I got to play, the choices that I made. People may not agree with it, so and the people I got to meet on my journey. That's another thing. When you also surround yourself with people who aren't trying to, who haven't, compromised themselves or they stuck by it. Like you, that's why I'm saying when you got that team of solid people who got your back, man. Like look what we got. Look at the relationship we got. Look at the friendship we got. We solid through the years. So when you said, "Hey, brother, let's talk on this panel. Let's just talk. You and I got your back. You've had my back. So it's like I'm here."
That's what's up. See, obedience will cost you, but disobedience is going to cost you a whole lot more.
Yeah, bro.
That's something most people don't understand.
Yeah.
So let's talk about going from actor to teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You shifted from being in front of the camera to pouring into others as a teacher and acting coach. The Bible says, and the things that thou hast heard of me, commit to those faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. That's what you call legacy right there. What made you pivot into teaching? What do you feel you're called to deposit into the next generation?
I love the teaching. Even like right now, I teach. I'm a structured learning teacher at Cop Hill High School. I love it. I'm blessed. Got some great kids, great staff, great principal. Like, man, blessed. And like working with the special need population. I got ADHD. I probably self-diagnosed, but something up with me. And I always was drawn to kids who dealing with their own challenges and how I just got along with them. So there's that aspect of teaching and finding different ways to where the world says this is how you learn. I'm like, okay, that's one way. Well, watch me show you another way, and we watch us get to the destination together. And the kids are like, and then you see the confidence that's built in that child. Like, yeah, we did that, Chucks. Like, I get it. Like, yeah. And then I want you to flourish. I have this thing of I'm a giver. I like to help. So same thing with working with special needs, helping them, thrive in the world as well. Same thing with the acting. I'm like, okay, students, I've been there. All right, what story you want to tell? Okay, I want to tell. Okay, I got you. All right, this is the way to navigate. This is how. This is what some of the challenges you're gonna face when doing this business. I got your back. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, because if you do this business right, like everybody wins. But if you feel like no Hollywood, you owe me. It gotta be this way. It gotta be like Hollywood gonna do what it's gonna do. Choice is what you gonna do about it. What you gonna do about it? They still gonna keep putting out movies. They still gonna put out the stories they want to tell. Okay, what stories you want to help tell? If you don't like those stories, go help tell some other stories. Go ahead, you do you. So with the teaching, that's where I'm just I know some of the journey they're going through, and I'm like, hey, I got you. I'll share whatever advice I can give to help you navigate their journey and their career as actors, and even just students, leaving high school.
Wow, that's good. That's good, man. True success is who you raise, not what you achieve. It's all about, man, trying to make somebody else better. Well, man, let's talk about your book. Dear Starving Artist, get something to eat.
Wow. That came about from a lot of people were calling me like, yo, how you make it? That'd be the question. How you make it? You know me, I'll sit like, all right, I'll type. But then I ain't gonna lie, after doing about hundreds of these, you like, man, I feel like I'm typing the same thing over again, man. I wish I had a book. I should write a book. And some of the things I remember where I even came up with the title, Dear Starving Artist, Get Something to Eat. When I was in LA, I didn't have a car. My first 2 years, I came out here, like I said, with $1,500 in a duffel bag. And I booked this play all the way in South LA off Crenshaw Boulevard, off of 43rd. Yeah. Because there was this theater down there. I can't believe I forgot the name. But what you would call it? I had to ride a bike, and I lived in Koreatown. In fact, off of 3rd in Vermont. So a brother got to ride, and it's all downhill. So I got to ride it all downhill to get to this spot. Then when we finished rehearsal, I had to ride my bike all the way uphill. And I was like, man, I'm struggling, man. This is not cool, man. And then, by the way, riding my bike uphill halfway home, I got 2 flat tires. So I'm like, man, God, this starving artist stuff, man. I don't like this, man. And then I got home. I'm starving. I am starving because I walked that bike the rest of the way. I think I was on. Heck, I felt like I was on the 30th block. And then when I made it home, felt like an hour and a half later, I'm starving. And I was like, let me go I'm going to treat me to a steak. My apartment was across from this place called Mayfair Market, which is now called Gelson's. Man, those are one of the most quality is high-end, like celebrities. Okay, yeah, I saw Rihanna in there. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I saw some stars in there. Like, they shopped at Gelson's. And I remember, I'm like, I'm gonna buy me a steak to treat myself tonight. When I saw how much this thin slice of steak was, I was like, $45. This is a thing. It looked like a steak up. And man, this is ridiculous, man. And I was like, man, I'm tired of starving, man. I gotta get something to eat in this whole starving thing. So I went to Food for Less, got me some steakums, and put all the steakums together, okay, just to fit. I was like, let me go, man. It was sad, but I was like, that's it. I made it. That's when I was like, that's it. I'm getting something to eat. I'm tired of starving. So that's why I said I redefined success. I was like, okay, Hollywood, you doing you, Hollywood? I get it. You don't owe me. I picked you. Okay, I'm going to focus on, I'm going to do teaching. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create my own. Like, get something to eat. Also, it's not just acting projects. Yo, I'm teaching. I'm giving back. Yo, go help out in the community. Go do so. I used to work at the after school program, helping out other kids. Like, do something where you gotta feed your spirit. It ain't just your stomach. So that's where the acting side fed my spirit. So that's why the teaching side fed my spirit. So that's why I was like, nah, all artists out there, you gotta get something to eat. It can't be all Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. Do something, give back, create something. It can't be just, okay, I created a story. All right, help go to a homeless shelter. You know, go help the Boys and Girls Club. Do something for your community. So that was my way of figuring out, like, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. So it's, if you want to survive in this business, you got to feed your spirit, okay, which feeds your, feeding your soul. So writing the book was like, all right. And then shout out to Angie Sanders and Omari Sanders. See how God worked. I went to high school with Omari Sanders, come just like you and Pastor Stephanie came out to visit me in Hollywood. Hey, I always looked out for my Virginia peeps. So when Omari and Angie Sanders came out to visit, I was like, I'm gonna show you Hollywood. And I showed them everything. Like, yo, we went on a tour and I showed them everything because I know the spots to go to. I ain't gonna lie, brother hooked them up. We toured Hollywood, Sunset, Beverly Hills, and we finished my tours like in let's say I finished it in we finished in some hours, but we got the pictures, everything. The kids got they could see everything. Like, yo, this is all the best shots. So anyway, I remember I had written some rough draft of this book, and I went to another company about writing a book, and I had written 26,000 words, and I spent $3,000 to work with a writing coach. And after spending $3,000 and coming up with only 27,000 words, I was like, okay, is my book done? And the writing coach was like, done? This is just the first draft. I was like, first draft? First draft? Like, this is already $3,000 for the first draft. This second, third, fourth. Oh man, I'm probably gonna spend this ain't. So I'm like, God, yeah, well, I guess the book thing is not gonna happen. And lo and behold, when Omari and Angie came down, they were like, Omari asked, like, so man, I see you doing this business, you doing this. We're proud of you, man. Are you writing a book? I said, well, I was trying to write this book, but I spent $3,000 something dollars. I only got $27,000, 27,000 words. And Omari said, well, my wife, Angie, she can write. And I know everybody be saying, oh, my friend's a writer. Nah, man, Angie Sanders can write her, but man, I'm telling you, she's the ghostwriter. She's the one where I wrote the words. Angie took it to a whole nother, like, that's my vision. See, I had the vision, but I need somebody to also help me get it out. She's like, Ransford, you wrote the words. I see it's there. We just added a little, flavor to that junk. It was like, yes, that's it. So shout out to Angie Sanders, a phenomenal writer. She's creative. She just scaled with the pen. So, and me and my ADHD, where I'm like, I need something that can keep my attention. And every time I read my book, I'm like, hey, keep my attention. I'm good. So that's how Dear Starving Artist came about. So it'd be a book to help actors, especially parents who want to get their children in the acting business, or they have a son or daughter who's majoring in theater, and what that journey is going to be like, and what happens after they graduate. And Dear Starving Artist is the book for your child, okay, and your friend who's interested in knowing, because it's an entertaining book, but it's like the truth, where this is some of the things and the obstacles you're going to deal with, you're going to face, where you're going to be like, oh. Yo, and it's funny, even as I got an upcoming acting class, every student who leaves my class, they leave going like, it's not only learning about the craft of acting, you learn about the business aspect of and like, okay, and everyone either leaves going, man, I want to do this, but they're learning in a way where, okay, now I know how to do this game right. Because there's certain things that they're going to run into and go, but nobody told me. Like, I'm telling you now, this is where you got to prepare for that and also that. And if you're going to do this, these are the sacrifices you're not only going to make, but also how to go. All right, I know how to do this. I can do this, but I got to play this game differently. I got to play this day. I got to make sure my spirit is squared away, man. Uh, I got to make sure like I'm taking care of my health. I'm taking care of my family. All the things that are the things that really mean something because you doing this forever, right? If you're gonna do it forever, I'm like, hey, okay, let's prepare for that journey, okay? Because I want it to be sustainable. So you learn, you know, be careful of what y'all eating out there when you want to fill that spirit up, because some is some empty stuff. So when you start filling it up with some good stuff, some quality stuff, you know, man, I'm good. Brother is good.
Wow. Man, that's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, y'all got to go get a copy of that book. Dear Starving Artists, Get Something to Eat. You can get that on Amazon.
Yes, you get on Amazon. And look, I'm gonna tell y'all something too. This is not when I posted it again. I didn't even know about the advertising of putting out books. I didn't know about hey, you should have done an audio book on audio with it. So I'm working on audio part 2. But that first week, my goal, all I wanted to do was sell the whole goal, if anything, 100 books. I was already at 75 within the first week when I posted, but I didn't know about marketing. I didn't know about, so if I had really pushed that book out and had other things available and make sure, like if anybody's writing a book out, see here, I'm trying, give out some game. If you're going to do a book, make sure you just got not only book, but the audio version of it so you can release both because there's not everybody like opening up books to read. Some people just love listen to audio while they stuck in traffic. And so I'm working on that part. And I should have had a workbook. But those are all things I didn't know about as well. I also didn't know about the advertising side of getting a literary agent. Shout out to Angie Sanders. We were with the literary agent, learned about that world, which was they're awesome. But I also realized, despite when, like for example, let's say things are going good in your career, and you got that book out, you got the audio book, like that's the time to like promote. Look at your fan base, all those things. I didn't have no awareness of that, so I could have put that out when things were hot. I didn't have a following, but I never been the following kind of guy when it comes to because remember, this was just to fulfill a dream that I said I wanted to do, But those are little things I would tell up and coming artists and writers: have this package squared away so it can launch into another thing where again you're not waiting on Hollywood to help you fulfill your needs and help you make your living. It's like this book gets out there. Now you can do motivational speaking on top of that book. Now you got a lesson plan you can do to teach kids, But I felt also, I'm not going to lie, with my 25 years, I'm not one of those guys who've been doing the business for 2 years and then be like, oh, I'm an expert on it. No, I feel like what I put in, Dear Starving Artists, I'm proud of my junks. Again, it's my story, and I feel it's good. Get you a copy. That's all I can say. I'm happy about it.
Yeah, you need to get a copy of that. That's gonna bless you. That's gonna bless you. I think one of the
And,
one
can I
go ahead.
can I throw one more thing? They also gonna see my journey with God in that because you gonna hear some struggles. You gonna hear me like even when I decided to become an actor, that was not. I got West African parents. Okay, they like to brag. My son is a lawyer. My son is a doctor. Man, I said I want to be an actor. Now, for me to even get there, it's like you hear that journey, and it's like the thoughts that are going through your head. Like, am I making the right decision? Like, it's just I'm not trying to do nothing. Man, so you're gonna see my journey with God through that whole story because it's no joke. It is no joke. So all who go through those struggles, I'll be like, hey, been there, and guess what I'm gonna say? Those struggles is normal. Okay. But every plant got to go through some dirt in order to grow. I love to say that to my students.
It.
All right. So you go and grow. So you're gonna be like, it's normal. This how you get through that junk. And once you get through that, cool. And then another one coming. I Pastor Tuck, you was my pastoral counselor through this journey. So this ain't no like, Oh, you got this alone. That's what I'm saying. Who's your team? Who are the people you got? Watch out for the haters. Some will pretend they're your friend. And then you got the friends who, no, I got your back. Let's talk. What you going through, you know?
That's what's up, man. Well, let's bring it home. Because
Okay, bro.
beyond career, you're a husband and a stepfather. You know, the Bible says, but if any provide not for his own, he had denied the faith. Joshua says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. How did your decisions impact your family? You know, how do you lead your home spiritually? How does being a stepfather teach you about love, patience, responsibility? Because your first ministry is your home.
Yes, I am learning. First of all, I'm grateful for the spiritual family that I have around me. You know, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, Jessica, the kid. Like I'm around some good church folk who some good Christians, not just church, good Christians who are praying for me, and God's, you know, my rooted family as well, who are praying for me, got my back, and give counsel when need. And me and Jessica already, we already got our relationship with Christ, and it's good that we on the same page. We have the same values, you know, and you know, can't just talk to talk, you know. And we are an interracial couple, so that's another thing where I know folks got their own opinions about that. Again, so I mean, man, my wife loves me. I love my wife. The kids love me. I love the kids. They like we're a family. We got each other's back. So it has been a blessing, and you know, continue to lead by example, you know, and we're learning, we're growing, you know. So we're doing good. We are blessed.
Man. Well, you know, at the end of the day, the whole conversation comes down to one thing, and that's character. You know, the Bible says, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, out of it all the issues of life." You know, he that is faithful in that which is the least is faithful in that which is much. Because character is who you are when nobody's watching. You know, when the deal is on the table, then compromise is convenient. You know, what would you say to men who are being pressured to compromise right now?
You know, don't do it. And if you do it, you're gonna learn from that, junks. But it's funny. Once you compromise once, then another carrot is gonna be offered to try to get you to compromise again. Then another carrot is gonna be offered. So it doesn't stop. That's why it's like they gonna do what they gonna do. You have to be the one to direct your own career. What do you want to get out of it? And then and guess what's funny? The business is not going anywhere. It's just changing, but it's not going anywhere. They're gonna tell the stories they want to tell. If you like, man, I don't want to tell. Okay, go through some other avenues. And it's funny, when one door closes, there's another one that opens up, and you like, man. And then the team that you get with, the people you surround yourself, when you just said no, and it's okay to say no to something else. A yes is right down there, which may lead to other yeses. But imagine if you were like, fine. And then here's nothing. Okay, you compromise. Already your spirit is sitting there going, man, don't do it. You're like, man, all right, fine. Look at the attitude you walk in with when you compromise. It's like that, all right. So now you compromise. Now you got a nasty attitude around the folks who they're like, hey, we just doing why you got the attitude for. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Well, see what already now it's all funky. Okay? That's why I'm saying, folks, like, if something in your spirit is saying, man, no, don't do it, don't do it. If there's something in your spirit is like, no, do this, go for it. Do that, junks. But if you're going through that struggle where you're like, nah, this don't feel right, don't do it. Because I'm telling you, once, and then what's funny, when it's over, you got to live with it. They got what they wanted. They got you. Now what? And then you expecting them to have your back when you done compromise yourself? Nope. So I'm telling you, Say no. Trust God got your back. Another opportunity is coming. It's coming. You're going to be like, "Shh, yes." And then when that goes good, when that stops, cool, enjoy. Then some other stuff that, nah, got it. And if the people around you don't support you and have your back by you saying no, that's not your team. Anybody trying to guilt trip you and be like, man, come on, you being with, that's not your team.
Wow. You know, you got to remember, if you protect your character, God will handle the future.
I agree.
Every man watching this, you're going to face a moment when compromise is easy and obedience is hard. But in that moment, you're going to reveal who you really are. So you got to choose character over compromise. It's just that simple. And that's how you stay anchored when everything around you is shifting. Man, this has been good.
Good,
Man,
brother.
it's been
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm blessed to have my man of over 30 years, Ransford Doherty.
Yes, sir.
In the
And
building.
yeah, listen, brother. And just to show you how I don't compromise, I'm a Raider fan. Come on now. I'm a Raider fan. We just got Kirk Cousins. You know we're going to the Super Bowl. Watch out now. Listen. We're going to the Super Bowl now. Max Crosby. We got Fernando Venezuela. Stop playing. I ain't compromised nothing. And now you're going, now you done compromise. Now we talked about character.
Hey.
You're a Cowboy fan. I want to hear nothing.
I'm not a Cowboy fan. I have renounced the Cowboys, man. I have renounced the Cowboys. You missed the press conference. I have renounced the Cowboys. I don't even watch football no more. They have ruined it for me so bad. I don't even watch football no more. Do you like that? I'm telling you, man. I boycotted the Cowboys year before last. And after what they did to Micah Parsons, I just renounced the Cowboys altogether. And so I haven't watched football in 2 years.
Wow.
Most people don't even believe it. They have literally ruined my joy for the game. I would watch football. I didn't care who was playing. And I literally have not watched a football game in over 2 years.
I've been through those years, my brother.
And I have been a Cowboy fan since I was 10 years old. I am now 55 years old, and I do not even watch football anymore. They have ruined, Jerry Jones has literally ruined my love for the game.
I feel you, brother.
He has made me that mad.
I feel you, man.
So I have literally not even, I don't even turn my TV on during football season.
I had to get you. All right.
It got that bad.
Yeah, and what's funny, I'm not gonna lie. Even my wife, Jessica, is a loving Ravens fan. She is a super duper, not crazy. She a fan of the Ravens, and I'm telling you, she knows I struggle where I watch a Ravens game with her, but it's been some years where I struggle to watch Raider games where I'm like, okay, I can't right now. I need a break.
Bro.
I need a break. Bro. And she's like, but she'll watch through her whole Ravens game, through good, through bad, but she has not gone through, I'm not going to lie. She has been a fan, but this is like during the Lamar years is when she started, because she used to be a Cowboy fan, but they didn't think, oh, come on, she's like, okay, I'm going to find my own team. You going to make fun of me? So she got educated, learned about the Ravens, became a huge Ravens fan. And what I love is, but she's going through the good Lamar years where, they go into the playoffs on a regular basis. You kind of take that for granted. She hasn't gone through the ugly years. She know about the Ray Lewis, the Ed Reed years.
She don't know the hard part yet.
Yeah. But she's like, I'm a Cowboy. I used to be a Cowboy fan. I was like, but this is it's different now.
Hey, it's different. It's different. But fellas, y'all can see this. Y'all see how far we go back. This my man right here. This my man right here. Well, we pray this has blessed y'all tonight. Like I said, we pray y'all got something out of it. But if you have been blessed by the Man Cave or any of our ministries right here on the My Church channel, and you want to help us continue to do what God's called us to do, then you can support us by sowing a financial seed. You can do so by using Cash App, $ My Church channel, or you can go to our website, lovemychurch.org, and click sow a financial seed. But whatever you do, know that your gifts are going to help us continue to do what God's called us to do. We've got all kinds of faith-based content right here on the My Church Virtual Ministries. We've got on every Sunday morning, we have Reveal TV with Pastors Kendall and Kiara McDowell. We've got Victory Today with Apostles Tony and Cynthia Brazelton. Then we have The Enjoyable Life with Drs. Russell and Yvita Cash. We've got the Leadership Academy, Medicine for the Mind, Women of Worth, The Man Cave, Marriage Seer Training, The Heart of the Pastor. We've got all kinds of faith-based content to help you grow and to walk out your faith walk. And so if you want to help us continue to do what God's called us to do, sow a financial seed and just know that you're going to be sowing into the kingdom of God. But whatever you do, make sure you tell somebody to check out this message and check out what we're doing right here on the My Church channel, because you know somebody who needs it. But God bless you. We love you. Make sure you stay tuned for our announcements. I'm Pastor Tuck. That's my man Ransford. And you'll see us again on next time. Come back and see me and my regular host, my son, Corey Coleman. But God bless you. This has been a special edition of the Man Cave. God bless you. We love you, and peace.
Breaking news. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming with a special alert. Get ready for the premiere of Reveal TV on the My Church channel, featuring the powerful preaching and teaching ministry of Pastors Kendall and Kiara McDowell. Experience a word that is truly prophetic, anointed, and spirit-filled to change your life. Coming to the My Church channel Sundays at 8 a.m. Experience the dynamic ministry of Reveal TV. Coming soon to the My Church channel. Don't miss it.
When we are cultivating an intimacy with God on that level, we are doing more than just receiving mere instruction. We are receiving direction.
You were approved before you ever acted, chosen before you even understood the assignment.
You need to hear this and hear this clearly. You are the most important person in this church.
And if you stay connected, they're going to contaminate your faith. They're going to pull you from the path that I'm trying to take you on.
The scripture tells you exactly how to use the Bible to overcome addiction.
Women in the Bible may have been minimized, but there were a lot of powerful women. I'm certain they poured into others.
And that's why we've got to learn to not despise our seasons, because it's the thing that teaches us how to trust God. Gratitude melts tension. It softens hearts and opens doors for deeper communication. People always want to make change more difficult than it is, but every change starts with a choice. At My Church, we help people get better by teaching them how the Word works, and we want to make sure there's no excuse not to get the Word. It's our goal to make all of our ministries accessible on every smartphone, tablet, PC, and television connected to the internet. So whether you're a man who needs some wisdom, a woman who needs some encouragement, or a couple who needs guidance, the My Church channel has just what you need. Simply search for the My Church channel on Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Google TV, and now LG TV, or visit mychurchchannel.org. You can also download the My Church on the Go app from the Apple or Google Play App Store. Constantly on the move, check out the Word at My Church podcast from your favorite podcast platform. Or simply download the Word at My Church skill from your Alexa-enabled device. But whatever you do, make sure you stay connected. See you soon.